Tonight on the Black Channel, if somebody violated you for a whole decade, from sea to shining sea in every single motel, hotel room you could imagine, how much would it take for you to just walk away and leave them alone? The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting superfortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, I wanted to touch on this. Because I think this is really relevant in a lot of regards here. For those of you who were not aware, P Diddy has found himself in yet another bind of his own devising here. The young female that he met 15 years ago or so, Cassie, her 15 minutes of fame didn't even last 14. But he decided to make a girlfriend out of her, and in my opinion, he saw just how thottish she was and said, well, let me see how far I can go. And eventually he got her to do incredibly bad, incredibly sleazy things, and it was like, yeah, can't keep this. Since that time, 4 years ago, him and her broke up. He started checking for younger women. Him and her broke up, and he starts talking to even younger women, so she aged out the game. He's on to the next one. And she's waited 4 years. She's gotten married. She's had some kids, but she's been lurking in the background. And she's jumped up out of nowhere with claims that, P Diddy he raped me for a decade. It was drugs and rape and drugs. And it was awful. It was terrible. I just couldn't live with myself doing it. It was awful. I'll never get over it. And I'll never get over it, and I'll need, TMZ. TMZ gives you the details here from a couple of days ago. It said that Diddy, meanwhile, has come out with a staunch defense, calling Cassie's claims a straight-up financial shakedown through his attorney. Now listen to the next part. Quote, Mr. Combs, this is his attorney talking, Mr. Combs vehemently denies these offensive and outrageous allegations. For the past 6 months, Mr. Combs has been subjected to Ms. Ventura's persistent demand of $30 million under the threat of writing a damaging book about their relationship, which was unequivocally rejected as blatant blackmail. Anyone remember Autumn Jackson? Despite withdrawing her initial threat, Ms. Ventura has now resorted to filing a lawsuit riddled with baseless and outrageous lies, aiming to tarnish Mr. Combs' reputation and seeking a payday. So, yeah, she had been trying to do a shakedown the whole time. Because the money is gone. She's now married to a personal trainer. She's now got her a zaddy and married to a personal trainer. Somebody asked me, Jason, why is it that all these washed up, run-through chicks out here in the music business, entertainment business, why is there so many of them end up with personal trainers? And I told them that because it's easier to find a guy with 8-pack abs than an 8-figure income. So that's what they end up doing. They can't get somebody with an 8-figure income, so let me go grab somebody with some 8-pack abs and maybe he'll parlay that into something else. The dude she's with was unable to do that. So yeah, she said, well, I'll be damned. I'm not going to sit up here and be slumming with you anymore. Let me go get a real bag. Diddy said he's going to be giving folks back their publishing. I'm not going to get but 2 pennies from it. And I bet you if I accuse him of rape, I bet you I can get more than 2 pennies. So, of course, P Diddy did the prudent thing and he didn't allow that to drag on. But here's the real issue. You were yelling for days and days. Months you've been yelling apparently about, oh, I'm going to say this, that, and the other. Then you come out and say, he raped me, human trafficking. Really? Because if those were serious allegations, if your allegations were serious, how the hell does somebody pay you off for rape? I want to ask a question of every parent in this room right now. If your daughter came to you and said 5 years ago, this dude raped me, for that guy I was dating for 12 years. He was raping me across this country, drugging me up. He had literally dozens of other men having sex with me. I mean, he was just doing the damn thing. Would you tell your daughter, oh, okay, well, how much is he offering to pay you? How many of you that would be your answer and your response to your daughter? She just told you that she got raped and human trafficked and every damn thing else, and that your answer to your daughter would be, oh, well, how much is he going to pay you? No. Don't worry about criminal charges. We ain't worried about that. No criminal charges. But yeah, how much is he going to pay you? Well, I mean, if he's going to rape you, he should pay you for it, right? He should pay you for it, shouldn't he? If he's going to rape you. I mean, it's just rape, right? That's all it is just rape, right? How many of you would tell your daughter, well, you just got raped, that's all. Let him pay you a few $1 million and keep it pushing. How many of you would tell your daughter, well, as long as you got raped by a rich dude, tell him throw you a few bills and you keep it pushing? How many of you would say that? Well, let me tell you, there's more than a few. You got to hold this L. Why, these were some of the folks who were in the chat room before the program began. Oh, damn, Jason, you be monitoring the chat room before the program begins? Of course I do. I do it every single weekend. I'm always watching for that kind of thing. You never know when somebody's going to say something that's industrial strength stupid. And let me tell y'all right here, if you allow any of these niggas, you allow any of these folk on this screen right here to show, if y'all want to know who the creepy uncle is in your families, yeah, take a look on your screen right here. If you allow any of these folks around, they'll be sitting there making hot dogs for the creepy uncle in your family. The first one, if you're innocent, why would you settle? Excuse me, she was the one who made the accusation. If she's been raped, why would anybody be able to pay you for that? How do you pay someone for being raped? How do you pay somebody for that? Oh, Tammy? I don't know, Tammy the Mammy? I'm positive a lot of people would settle. So Tammy is saying, hey, my bills ain't never been right. My bills ain't never been right. My money ain't never been right. So, yeah, look here. How long you gonna rape me? Okay, how much am I gonna get when you get done? Oh, okay, well, all right, let me see. I can settle for that. Ladies, if you want to know why it is that men think the way that they do and act the way that they do with females today, by the way, there's another female. Take a look what she's saying that you all are worth. I'm sure she's speaking for you. I'm positive a lot of people, you mean women, would settle. Next one. The question is, why did he settle if he were innocent? First of all, to the ADHD children out there, to the lead pipe babies, and to those of you who you had uncles and aunts and nephews touching on you. And so this is the way you look at life because you had folks touching on you. Why did P Diddy settle? First of all, you're trying to deflect because you can't defend what she did. So that's why you're trying to deflect. But let's be very, very clear about this. P Diddy settled for the exact same reason that insurance companies settle. Why do you think insurance fraud is so rampant? He settled for the exact same reason that they do. You add up the cost of litigation, you add up the time differential, you add up that, and then you ask yourself, well, is this really worth our time? Furthermore, he's sitting on hundreds of millions. What are you kidding me? He's going to miss that? And I'm sure he didn't give her more than just a few million. That's all it takes. Because he's like, by the way, if we take this to court, we're going to air all your dirty laundry, Cassie. Do you want your husband and your children to hear what we about to drag out in court on you? Are you sure about that? Look, he used you, he abused you, he slutted you, he smutted you, and he's through with you. So you need to carry it on. Here's 4-5 mil, carry your ass. You already knew what the game was. You already knew what the deal was back then. That's it. What you're upset about is that you went from a certified billionaire to a personal trainer, and it's never going to get better. So now you look back half a decade later and said, damn, I left Diddy for a dud. Maybe I can go rape a bag. And that was what she did. And P Diddy just took a look at it. It's like, okay, all right. All right. We'll let that be what it is. But here's the bigger question. The bigger question is, if any of you listen to me right now, we talk about how black folks sit up here and the police have gunned down their loved ones and everybody's waiting for Benjamin Crump to come rolling up so they can negotiate a settlement with the police. Now, you talk about how unacceptable that is to let the police off the hook. Well, yeah, we know we killed your son, but here's a few $1 million. Get out of our face. Now there's a bunch of folks here letting you know that, hey, by the way, if I had a chance to whore myself out, I know some of the fellas here, from what I'm seeing from some of these comments, some of these fellas are salty that they can't really whore themselves out the same way. So they really upset. They're like, damn, wish I could have did that. You got another one here. The question is, why the question should be, why did he settle? She was the one who claimed she got raped. How do you settle with someone for raping you? How do you sit down and say, yeah, I know you raped me, but if you give me a few $1 million, I'll let it go? Someone tell me, what kind of person says that? Yeah, I know you raped me. I don't want you to go to jail. I want you to pay me. Yeah. I know you raped me. I'm not looking for you to go to jail. I'm looking for you to pay me. Who says that? Who thinks that that's an acceptable response for your daughter, for your niece? Well, I'll tell you somebody who does. Trent Giam, for $100 million like she settled for, then maybe. He's like, yeah, he would set his daughter out in a minute. I think the question is, if you didn't violate, would you give $100 million to the person they're saying? Now, understand something. There's a lot of mental and emotional illness and sickness going on out there. Individuals like this guy here, he's obviously battling emotional illness because nowhere did he read from anybody that she got $100 million. But he came here, I'm talking about fresh off the base pipe, talking as if he's got some inside information when very clearly, no, that's not the case. You're never going to find out how much that was. Never. Just like Michael Jackson, you're never going to find out what that was. And yet, this guy's sitting up here exhibiting his mental illness. Well, I know how much you will. Literally, it tells you that you don't have that information. But more importantly is what he said. Well, for $100 million, maybe I would. So in other words, this guy is upset that Diddy wouldn't want nothing with him. Hey, clown, Trent. He said he got it from Media Takeout, because we all know that Media Takeout is a completely reliable source. We all know that Media Takeout is not one of the most unreliable sources on the internet. He thinks Media Takeout is a reliable source. And they didn't tell you where you got that from. By the way, did you get Media Takeout? You can see I'm fully informed. I will let that statement that he just made speak for his IQ and his cognitive intelligence. I'll let that one speak for it. He just came back in the chat room and said, I got it from a great source, Media Takeout. I'll let that speak for itself. I'll let that speak for itself. Yeah. All right. Take your Ritalin. But what this does underscore is there are a lot of folks out there, they would set their daughters out. They would overlook their daughter being raped if there was a payday. They would just overlook it. They would give the guy a pass. They would give the assailant a pass if there's a payday. Hell, some of them are sitting here saying, hell, why you got to go after my daughter? Why can't you go after? Why can't you go for me? I'd like some of that. So some of these fellas here, are like, hey, wait a minute now. Why would he settle? Y'all don't call me out for it. Some of them are wishing that they could. So they got to set their daughters out, or they vicariously would agree to set their daughters out because they don't really have the option of doing it. I want a show of hands in the chat room. Give me the thumbs up emoji if your daughter was raped by some rich dude for a decade around the country and around the world, and she told you that he raped me, and you tell her, well, you don't have to file charges. Just see if he'll pay you to be quiet. No, don't write a book. Don't give all the details. Don't give all the information. Just go ahead. Tell him if he pays you, then you won't tell the world everything that he did. Give me the thumbs up emoji if that's what you would tell your daughter. Yeah, I know he raped you, but if he pays you enough money, don't write that book telling everyone all the details of what he did to you. You know, like Jeffrey Epstein. If Jeffrey Epstein can pay you off, don't tell the world what he did to you on that island. According to Trent G, and according to Jay Babies, and Tammy Dixon, and Todd, according to them, well, hey, you know, let's change the subject there. So according to them, if that's what happened, you would do that. Now, for those of you, if you wouldn't, give me the thumbs down emoji. If you're saying, hell no, I would never tell my daughter that, give me the thumbs down emoji. But we need to just keep it honest here. There's a bunch of folks sitting in here right now. Man, they would put their daughters and granddaughters on the track without a moment's hesitation. They would tell their daughters, if you got raped, don't write a tell-all book. Give him the Jeffrey Epstein treatment. If he's rich, do what Jeffrey Epstein's victims would do. Don't say nothing. Let him pay you off and you be quiet. Don't write a book telling all the details, going over all the facts, laying it all out so that the world has all the facts and all the information. Give him plausible deniability. Let him pay you off and you agree to be quiet about everything else you know. Because P Diddy's got plausible deniability now. Hey, I paid her off to make her go away. In other words, he's got the ability to deny it. You get him under deposition, and then you have to subpoena all of the so-called male escorts that he allegedly hired to corroborate everything. Well, then now that's legal record. You see, folks, when those families were suing the folks who made OxyContin, when they were suing them folks didn't let that go. They kept going. They didn't let that go. They didn't let it go. You see, the folks who sued Alex Jones, they didn't settle. Let me say that again. If you are innocent, for some of you trash bag people who wish you had some female relatives to set out, or you wish that your butt cheeks were a little smoother so P Diddy would sit up here and smack you on it, the families that went after Alex Jones didn't settle. They didn't take a settlement. They said, oh no, we're running you all the way through the court for however many years it takes. We're running you all the way through. But some of y'all wish you had a sex organ that you could leverage and bargain with. So what you're really doing is just exposing where you stand. But by the way, if you're really serious about the allegations somebody's made against you, you don't settle. You're like, oh, no. You and me will settle this when I finish running your ass to that court. That's where we'll settle this. We'll settle this there. We'll settle it there. So you got to understand, there's a bunch of grimy, smarmy, sleazy, low-down, gutter-ass people on the internet, and they just wish they had a daughter or a granddaughter to hand off. And they would tell her in a minute, y'all think R. Kelly's victims were rare? Hell no, there's a whole bunch of these folks still sitting around out here. Can't you see on your screen? There's a bunch of them sitting around out here. Well, why did he settle then? Why he settle? I mean, if it don't matter why I took the money, it don't matter why I took the money. Why did he offer me? Why did he go ahead and pay me some of that money? It don't matter why I took it. Why, if you get raped, that's what you do. If you get raped, you just, hey, how much can you pay me? We'll just call this an ex post facto transaction. Yeah, you can go ahead and have my daughter. Trent G said, you can have my daughter if the payment is big enough. You can have her. Yeah, you can have her if the payment's big enough. And Jeffrey Epstein and all his friends are sitting there licking their chops. Well, in his case, he's licking it from hell or a Ouija board or something. So just understand, I'm asking this question, and for a lot of you, it seems to be very, very easy and simple. But for some of these other folks, man, their only regret is that Diddy didn't want them. Because they're like, man, look here. And Diddy he had that woman with apartments in New York and across California, not across Los Angeles, across California. And they sitting up here, man, look here, if he was paying me an apartment, he could do whatever he wanted to with me for a whole decade. Ain't that right, Trent? Ain't that right, Tammy? They like, man, look here, hell. I'd be calling that nigga up today on OnlyFans. So I want you to understand the environment that we find ourselves in. I want you to understand what that is. And when you're looking at a bunch of people around you right now, just recognize where they're coming from with this. Somebody rapes your daughter for a decade and your response is, well, how much will they pay? How much will you pay us? She said in her lawsuit that she was seeking justice. Well, apparently justice is a payday. Because you see, here's the real thing, folks. Imagine, if you will, somebody who knew everything that Carolyn Bryant had done, and they told her, but if you pay us a few million, we will let it go away. We won't demand that you name everybody who was involved. You pay us a few million, and we're gone. You just pay us a few million, and we'll let the matter go. What kind of person talks like this, acts like this, thinks like this? What kind of person does that? What kind of person says, you've done something heinous, but if you pay me just a few shekels, I'll let it go? Who does that? Who does that? How many females in here the fella can do with your butt cheeks whatever he wants to for a decade here? He is just ravenous. He's just run you and slum you through the mud. You come out and you claim that you've been raped and sex trafficked. You claim that was what occurred. And then the very next day, in 24 hours, you said, yeah, nah, I'm all right, y'all. I'm going back home. We've reached a settlement. Nothing to see here. Bye. What I'm telling you all is that obviously all that stuff she was doing, and you can look up the lawsuit to see what she was doing. All that stuff she was doing, she came back 15 years later to get a ride one more time from the only man she knows who could actually do it. I submit to you that she came back 15 years later to get one more ticket on the train. All that stuff she had been doing then, yeah, she's still the same person, only now she's hungrier for the money than she's ever been because her personal trainer husband is not up to speed. And I don't wish bad on anybody's relationship, but I believe that he's the driving force behind it because I believe, I don't have any proof of it, but my experience in life and my analysis of it leads me to believe that somewhere along the line, he was telling himself that she didn't do very much with Diddy and them and that she was earlier in the game and he wasn't really aware of how far it was. And somewhere along the line, he starts talking to her and then eventually the conversation becomes, you did what with how many people? Somewhere along the line, her and her husband had some pillow talk and one day she says too much or he gets too curious and then it comes out, you did what with how many men? Whoa, I thought you were the little sweet-faced girl. I didn't know you were doing all that. So remember, she met her husband 2 months, 60 days after she broke up with P Diddy. That's the definition of a rebound. If she wasn't already talking to him while she was with P Diddy. So she got with that guy 60 days later, and she has her first child a year later. Less than a year later. Less than a year later, she has her first child with the guy that she met that she got with 60 days after P Diddy. Then she gets married to him 4 years later. Did dude check the paperwork? Did he check the pedigree? Did he check the documents? Did he check the documentation? I submit to you that he got married to her, and now that he's 2 kids and 4 years in, he only just now started asking some real questions about her. And now he's like, oh, hell, I didn't know all of this was going on. I didn't know all of that was happening. What you gonna do? So in other words, he's having a Kanye West crisis. He's having a Kanye Kim crisis. He wants to forget the thought. I mean, no man can be thrilled and okay knowing, not guessing, not wondering, knowing that your woman was literally, by her own admission, in a hotel room with P Diddy and 2 or 3 other men. P Diddy wasn't touching her. The 3 other men were. P Diddy was not having sex with her when he did that. He got 2 or 3 other dudes to do that. Think about that for a few moments, that you know, and your woman wasn't even with porn stars. She was with male prostitutes in a hotel room, in hotel rooms across the country and probably around the world, that you think about that's the chick you done married. Folks, I'm just saying that when your woman's been in a leg lock, a headlock, and a figure 4 with 3 other dudes, imagine all 3 of them got her, one by the head, one by the leg, one by the arm, and now you're married to her? That's an image that isn't gonna go away. I'm wondering if he stumbled across a video or something. I'm not even being facetious. Think about that for a few moments. All 3 of them dudes got your wife in a submission hold. And you 4 years later, now the gravity of that is starting to dawn on you. The gravity of it is starting to sink in. Now you're trying to ask yourself that, because what is the status of being married to that woman? What's the status of it? How do you get proud of that? As men, fellas, you know full damn well there's nothing she can say or do that's gonna make that okay. Nothing she can say or do. And I'm talking about, they said that P Diddy showed up with Astroglide. Now, I don't know if you know what Astroglide is, but look it up. But she said in her lawsuit that she would be sent out to come, that when they had the hotel rooms where he would set up these freak offs, he called them, that she would have to be there with baby oil and Astroglide.
What?
I said Astroglide.
What?
No, the stuff is called Astroglide. Okay. All I'm going to say is Google it. All I'm going to say is Google it. So if your woman is in a room with 3 other dudes, what P Diddy said that he sent her on, she said that P Diddy had her on websites looking for big black people. Big black people. I'm going to leave it there. You can look up the lawsuit if you want to. I'm going to use the word people. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to use that word, that she was looking for big black people. Okay. Big black people are sitting there grabbing your wife's legs with a bottle of Astroglide? A bottle of Astroglide.
Auntie, chill.
And you know what in the world you thinking? Wait a minute, she's in the room with 3 black people? Oh no, what does it sound like? Man, folks, that's what I'm telling you is 4 years later. 4 years later. Do you think that thought is out of his head now? He's going there every night. And he looks like an average white band. He looks like a rather affable fellow. Nothing exotic about him. He's got chest tattoos. Okay, fine. Maybe he was personal training with P Diddy. Okay, he ain't about that life. He ain't about that life. So think about that. You're the average white dude, and your wife has filed a lawsuit saying, yeah, P Diddy had me in the room with a bunch of big black men's. For how long? Oh, baby, it was a decade. A decade? Oh, they were power bombing me for a decade. A decade. They were giving these draws the power bomb for a decade. And he's just sitting there like, what the hell? Folks, come on now. Okay, let me just go ahead and say this and then I'm going to move on. People, your woman does not stick in a situation like that for a decade unless she likes it. No. Unless she loves it.
Cookie.
Unless she loving it. Come on, folks. You know full damn well, a woman don't stay in a situation like that where she's getting tromboned in one hotel for a decade, 10 years. Man, a woman don't stay nowhere for 10 years with Lex Steele and Mandingo and Justin Slayer on a regular basis and she don't love it. You don't do something for a decade that you hate. You can only do something for a decade that you love. And I mean love it. Let's just stop with the bull jive. Ladies, y'all know it's the damn truth. You ain't gonna stay in a situation that you don't love for a decade. Not for no 10 years. You don't stay there for a decade. You are there because you love what's going on. You can't get enough of it. Now imagine if you're her little new husband and you're like, man, look here, I ain't no big black fella like that. But you're asking yourself, well, how is it that my so-called squeaky clean wife, I thought she was, how could she stick around that for a damn decade? And then you hear from the lawsuit, and then these men, these were some big, huge, And I didn't want to be with those big men, sir. She's telling her husband she didn't want it. I didn't want it. Why? He forced me to stay and to accept all these gifts and all these cars and all these drugs for a decade and a half. He forced me to do it. He forced me, he forced me to call these male escorts because she was calling them. He forced me to call them. He forced me to set it up. He forced me to do all of that. I didn't want to do it, but I wanted to keep my record deal, so I just stuck with it. But I want you to understand, husband, I hated every second of it. I hated every minute. It was disgusting to me. Every single minute, the whole decade. All those award shows you saw me showing up at, all of those performances, all those places you saw, I couldn't stand it. I hated it. All the after parties with all these big, strong, muscular men just manhandling me and pulling me and jerking and all of that stuff that was going on. I hated it. For all 10 years, yes. When did you start hating it? I hated it from day one. It was traumatizing. So you stayed for 10 years. I felt I couldn't leave. How many fellas listening to me right now, if your woman told you that? Baby, from the time I was in college to the time I was 28, man, look here. I was with this dude. He had a bunch of money, but he liked to have 3 other dudes manhandle me. And I mean, we was astro gliding and power gliding and hang gliding. I want you to understand, they did that, well, baby, how long? For a decade, 10 years. 10 years they was slicking me up. Well, but I hated it, baby. Can we get married? How many fellas sit here and say, well, why so? Absolutely, we can do that. How many fellas here, if you heard that from your woman? Yeah, I mean, they was sitting here giving me the Samoan drop for 10. What the hell you gonna do with that? What do you do with that? Come on now. Because according to her, she couldn't leave. According to her, she couldn't go nowhere. So I want to know from the fellas here. Fellas, 10 years? 10 years with some big black people. And she tells you that she hated it for 10 years. Now she's with you. You are nowhere near as black and nowhere near as, oh boy. Now you're married to her and you thinking to yourself, I'll be damned. Oh, I'm going to go there. I am going to go there. Now, can you imagine he's married to her? I bet you she probably tells him that there's some sexual things that she won't do with him. What? Imagine that. Your woman spent 10 years riding a log tree with P Diddy and friends. She was 10 years on the roller coaster with P Diddy and friends doing unspeakable things. And P Diddy was recording all of it. Unimaginable things. Everything under the sun. She marries you and she's telling you, oh, I don't do that. What? So a bunch of strangers probably got to do things with your wife that she's telling you she don't do no more. No. I need you to marry me and take care of me, but I don't do that anymore. I don't do that anymore. I don't do those things anymore. Can you imagine that you married her and she telling you what she ain't gonna do? P Diddy got her in 4K with 4 dudes doing all the stuff that she telling you that she don't want to do no more. Okay, but you need to marry me. All right. Folks, if somebody really did sexually assault you, you're going to give them, you could tell the world every detail of what happened. You could push this all the way through court and get your verdict, not a settlement, but a verdict. And she said, no, I'm not going to do that. Give me a few mil and I won't run you through the courts. How many of you would tell your daughter, yeah, that's a good idea. That's the right move? We'll find out here shortly. Because we're going to go ahead and open up the telephone lines. And if you have been instructed by my mods to call in, that is not just a great idea. That is an order. In the meanwhile, though, I do want to thank Chucky Woo. Thank you for straight facts. J-Ham at least got some sense and said, hell no. I want to thank you very much for your support here tonight. J-Ham, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. And to everyone who has contributed to tonight's program on PayPal, CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. We're going to take a very brief commercial, non-commercial break. When we come back, we'll be taking your telephone calls and more. This is The Black Channel.
Hello, my name is Steve Burgess. I'm the author of this book, Guidelines for the Successful Student, a closer look at parenting your school-aged child. In this book, I've explained the role of the parent and the student in addition to what accommodations, procedures, rewards and consequences and expectations that need to be in place to ensure student success from primary to high school. This book is available on Amazon.com. For more information, please visit my link tree at Easy One-on-One. And to access my latest podcast, A Teaching Moment with Mr. B. Thank you all for listening.
A white supremacist assassin seeks revenge. Corrupt FBI agents with evil intentions. Dangerous black collaborators dedicated to treason. Occam Jeffers must defeat them all and somehow survive. One misstep and he's a dead man. Join Occam Jeffers as he looks the devil in his blue eyes and tells him, Black first. A sequel to the underground hit War of the Heart, Spirit of 1811 Publishing presents God Love Us, on sale at Amazon. Pre-order and save today. Visit spirit of1811publishing.com and show your love.
I am America's stepchild, and this is my diary. This diary is dedicated to the descendants of American slaves. Born in the projects, ass out, the beginning was the end for me. No time to pout. Born in the projects, ass out, the beginning was the end for me. After 20 years of silence since the Miami Beach police assaulted me and almost killed me for absolutely no reason without being held accountable, with the support of the white supremacy religion system, namely judges, lawyers, and municipality, I tell my story.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' natural body butter. With skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
This is The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. Very glad to be with you all here this evening, and the telephone lines are now open. The number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933. your personal access code to the Black Radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. As always, you are welcome to join us. Want to say a big shout out here to Mark B, Mr. Wilbur, Najee, and everyone else who has contributed support to tonight's program on PayPal, Cash App, Super Chat, Venmo. Mark Lamont Schill was talking about this, and of course, he was taking the pervert's perspective that, well, she settled and, but what about P Diddy though? Sir, so Mark, I guess we know what you would tell your daughter. But we already know Mark would have sashayed up in the P Diddy's suite up there. Mark would have brought his own Astroglide. Mark would be like, I'm ready for Freddie. And Tom. And Steve. But I'm just asking a question here. If you were sexually assaulted, would you be settling the case in 24 hours? Is that the way that you respond to being sexually assaulted? That's the way you would respond to it. Jason, I was sexually assaulted. No. Not interested in pursuing a court case and putting them in jail or something. No. Just throw me a few dollars and I'm good. Throw me a few dollars and I'm all right. Throw me a few dollars and I'm okay. That's what I've really been missing. My idea of justice, if he gets jail and doesn't pay me, that's not justice. If he pays me and doesn't go to jail, well, that's justice. That's justice. We'll take that. How many of you would make that Faustian bargain? How many of you would? Well, judging by some of the comments that I saw here earlier tonight, truth be told, a lot more would than are fessing up to it. Let me get caller from area code 901. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, I'm calling from Memphis, Tennessee. My name is Eddie.
All right, Eddie from Memphis. What's on your mind?
Well, I just want to call and just let you know that I completely agree with you as a person, a survivor of a situation like that. Not as serious as that, but that I definitely would want them in jail. I confronted the person a couple of years ago about everything I went through for years, and he acted like it never happened. And I definitely, even now, to this day, I still want him to go to jail. And I was kind of disappointed. I couldn't believe it. I thought that something was going to happen, accountability. But when she took the money in 24 hours, I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah, this is just a take.
It was just about the money.
Yeah, this is just a take. Her career never jumped off like it could. P. Diddy giving her publishing back is not enough. She's a washed-up former singer. She's never going to have another career. She's never going to have anything else. So she came back and said, yeah, you don't owe me a bag. I'm going to take me one. And on my way out the door, I'm washed up. I'm thrown away. I'm going to take me a bag on the way out the door, but I'm going to hide behind women's issues and claim that, I'm a victim. And she showed the whole damn world. She turned her ass up to everybody who sat up here and fell for that because it was very obvious from the beginning that, she was just trying to bag chase. She's just trying to bag chase. She's not owed anything.
You're absolutely right.
She's with a dude who can't really do anything for her. He can't elevate her life. And she's like, I miss where I was. And I feel like Diddy owes me something on account of the fact that he put my draws on a world tour. I'll let you have the last word.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Well, no, that's right. And that's why I was talking to my sister about it. I said, when it all came down to it, I said she must have got jealous how he's putting up Carisha now, Young Miami. Like you mentioned something, she aged out. So he got the younger girl and, look what he's doing for her. Oh, no. You know what? I got a story. And, they took all that money from a black man, and now she's sharing it with her daddy. Just will take it from another black man to now have it to go in their hands. And I'm going to finish with that one.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. By the way, now that she's on her way to a few million, how do you all think this ends with her husband now? Because, now she's certainly going to have a lot more money than him. So how do you think this ends with him now? Do you think he's going to stick with her like Eve and her husband? Or do you think he's going to give her the Halle Berry treatment? Stay tuned, sports fans. Caller from area code 914. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, my name is Lisa Jackson. I'm calling from Yonkers, New York. The allegations that she made were serious. At the end of the day, I'm gonna tell you something. There wouldn't have been no laws involved. He would have took a address called Permanent, and it would have been called 100 Permanent Avenue. And at the end of the day, you could clearly see that this woman was only driving for a bag. I'll land there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for getting this call here tonight. Hit the wrong button there. I was trying to get area code 347. Go ahead and give us a call back here. But certainly, like I say, look, there's a lot of folks out here right now. They're messed up in the game. They didn't get what they wanted to get out of life. Circumstances have not been to their advantage. And I'm just letting you all know, when you got folks who tell you what they would do and what they would overlook if you paid them enough money, I just want you to understand, these are folks letting you know what it would take to get them to sell you out is 100th of that. If this is what they would do to their own daughters, what do you think they would do to you? And what they're saying is, damn, I wish I had an opportunity to sell you out. Call from area code 347. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's up, Jason? My name is John J. I'm calling from Alpharetta, Georgia.
All right, John J. from Alpharetta. What's on your mind?
This is, I guess what, Diddy did or whatever he paying, but how does the average Joe Blow black man survive this? A chick coming back from years making these allegations, and we don't have the money Diddy got just to throw at a chick to get her to go away.
Well,
Man,
not having that is your protection.
Very dangerous.
Not having the money is your protection. The real issue is, God forbid you ever get a real bag and you grab a chick and you decide one day that females are used to having all the leverage to being able to leave in the relationship and be okay. God forbid you get in a situation where you got options and you got the leverage and you're like, you know what, baby? Yeah, I'm trading you in. Your ride is over. The ride is over. Now she's like, hey, what do you mean the ride's over? Yeah, I've been with you from the age of 22 to 32, and I'm trading you in for a newer model. The new model is coming out, so I'm trading you in for another 23-year-old. Brother, look here. She's going to be like, I'll be damned. I can't get my 20s back. I can't get that back, so I'm going in on you. For the fellas who actually get a bag, it's like, yeah, especially if she goes to a fella who is below you. He's below you socially. He's below you financially. He's below you intellectually. You got that going. No, she's not going to let that go. She's not going to let it go. If there's ever if she's able to, another thing is finagle away, because what the lawsuit was doing, what lawyers do in that situation, she has some scumbag lawyers, but what lawyers do in that situation is they try to drop out a bunch of details. What they try to do is give you places. Now that's the most important thing, is when they start, the threat in that lawsuit was when there was a paragraph in there where they were naming off a bunch of hotels. That was the threat. That we remember all these places and all these times, and that this is where you were. So what they're doing is threatening Diddy by saying, we can say where you were, we will make an allegation, and then it'll be up to you to disprove what happened. So that's the threat. So for the average man, that isn't a reason. That's not an issue. You don't have to worry about that. However, if you ever do get in a situation where you are just make it to the 1% and you're significantly above a female you were with, yeah, dude, you got to watch out for all of them at that point. There is an incentive for them to come back after you if their life don't jump off the way they thought it should have. So try to limit the interaction. Don't have a bunch of receipts. Don't go to a bunch of places. Just limit it as much as you can in that regard, because they're showing you, if you sit up here and just say, you know what, I'm through with you, but before I do, I'm just going to slut you out. If you go for that one, if she's vindictive enough, she might try it.
Oh, wow. And can I ask you one more question before I get off?
Yes, sir.
Now, do you think he made a mistake by settling, or he should have fought it? Maybe you've already answered, because I joined. I called.
I mean, well, here's the thing, okay? I covered this already with Lizzo on my other YouTube channel. Lizzo is being accused of, mistreating her rotund backup dancers. But the real issue is they got cut from the tour. That's the real issue that they have, is that they got cut from the tour. Once they got cut from the tour, they're not getting paid anymore. You're not on the team. So they filed the lawsuit to extract more benefits. But what they did in their lawsuit was start talking about all the stuff that they were perfectly fine with while they were part of her company. All of a sudden, it was abuse and a hostile work environment with all the strippers and all that stuff going on. All of a sudden, it becomes that. So when people can't get you to pay them more money, they're going to try to force you to pay them more money. But the thing they did with Lizzo is they started dropping all these details about all these sex clubs in Amsterdam overseas and in Europe that she would go to. That was the threatening part of their lawsuit. That Lizzo, we're not worried about a trial. We just want to depose you. We just want to get you in a deposition because that is public record also. And once we depose you under oath, we're going to get you to admit that you did these things. Now, you'll try to say that it wasn't as severe as we said it was, but we're going to get you under oath in a deposition, and then we're going to have you on video admitting to doing these things. What's going to happen to your sponsorships, your deals, your record deals, your public appearances, showing up on Disney Plus? What's going to happen to that when we say that this is what you were doing? So that was the threat. They weren't threatening a person. They were threatening her brand. So let me put this in this perspective for you. If you were to go after Rihanna today, you're not going after Rihanna. You're going after Fenty. As you know, that's Sephora. That's hooked up with LVMH. Richest guy in the world. You're going after that now. So nobody is trying to sue Rihanna. You're trying to sue Fenty. Nobody's trying to sue Lizzo. You're trying to sue her associations. And nobody's trying to sue Diddy. You're trying to go after that vodka money. You're trying to go after the residual money. Epic Records was named in the lawsuit. You're trying to go after that. That's what the angle is. So all of these other parties are making money off of Diddy. What do they say? Do they even want Diddy to fight this? Do they even want that? It's like, dude, doing that is bad for business. Chris Brown, remember, Chris Brown famously, he didn't fight that case because once they gave him an offer, he was like, okay, I told him, the record company told him, take the deal so that this gets off the front page. R. Kelly, same thing. Take the deal so this gets off the front page so we can get back to doing business. Diddy, take the deal so we can get this off the front page and we can go back to business. So in there, you're not going after one man. You're going after this whole business entity and his associates. And for them, it's get this off the page here. Is it worth it for us? What do we gain by fighting this? This hangs in the air for years because she's obviously got some scumbag lawyers who are just going to hang in there because they can. So what do we gain for fighting this? They would be upset with him if he decided to try to fight this, especially if there's not a criminal charge involved. They'd be like, man, look here. We're upset with you that you're trying to fight this. What you need to do, hey, you made this mess. You need to clean it up. Pay the broad, get out the damn picture, and whatever you pay her, we're going to have that back in a year.
Yeah. Hey, you just chalk it up to the cost of doing business.
Thank you.
But hey, thank you. I land that.
You just said it. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. I mean, it is what it is. For those of you who might be working a 40-hour-a-week job, that's one thing. He's a business. They're like, hey, dude, get this off the front page so we can get back to making money here. That ain't nothing to us. We can get that money back in a year. We can get that money back in 12 months. Get her out of our business. You being on the front page will make the money stop. If you're on the front page for 3 years, that makes the money stop. Get her out of here. We keep rolling. Business as usual. Whatever she said, people are going to believe what they believe or not believe what they believe. The only question is whether or not they're going to still keep buying your music and buying your vodka and keep watching Revolt TV. If these people are going to keep watching Revolt, keep buying the vodka, and keep buying the music, get her the hell out of here. Get her the hell out of here. Caller Miracle 251, you're on live with The Business. What's your name? I'm sorry, The Black Channel. The Business was yesterday. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing, Jason? My name's Kevin, calling from Mobile, Alabama.
All right, Kevin from Mobile, what's on your mind?
I just want to say this. You done done it again. This reminds me of when a few months ago when you called out Pearl Days, and you brought up stuff that people never thought to think about. And tonight, the same thing. Come tomorrow, every black YouTuber and their grandmammy going to be asking these same questions that you brought up tonight. They're going to be asking, what a husband going to do, how he feel about that. So I just want to give you props for being an innovator. And I know you like mention YouTube, but that old homosexual, old Shay, he going to be the main one asking about this stuff. And that's all I want to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Well, definitely, I think the husband is the catalyst for this. I think the husband is a catalyst. I think that she's trying to smooth things over with him. Something happened, and he had a Darius Jackson, Kanye West moment. She did something he found out some information that he just couldn't shake. It shook his manhood, and eventually he was just like, yeah, I mean, is that really who you are? And she's been trying to convince him ever since that that's not who she is. She's been trying to convince him ever since that that's not who I am. And old boy is shook by it, and she's going after Diddy to try to make this dude more comfortable by saying that Kim Kardashian stuff. I didn't really mean to do it. I was a victim. Oh, these big black men were doing all these things to me, but you see, my little light-skinned mixed self, I didn't want to do it. I was a victim. So you see, that's how white women get white men to give them a pass. White women, y'all understand, we've been telling you this for years. It works for white women. So Cassie is saying, well, why can't it work for me? When white women want white men to give them a pass for their interracial past, they tell them I hated it. They tell them it was awful. They tell them I was drugged. They tell them it was a crime. They tell them he victimized me. So Cassie was like, okay, old boy is freaking out about this and whatnot. Just tell him I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do that. I was a victim, baby. All that stuff I did, I was on drugs. They had me drugged out of my mind. For a whole decade, ma'am? Of course. We'll find out. Caller Miracle 313, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Lisa.
Okay, Lisa, where are you calling from?
Michigan.
Okay, Lisa, last try. Lisa, where are you calling us from?
Michigan.
All right. Lisa doesn't know where she is. So Lisa can give us a call back when she figures out what city she's in. Caller Miracle 440, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
What's up, Jason? This is Ariane Ali from Cleveland, Ohio, calling by way of Lorain County. I just wanted to chime in real quick. You're doing a phenomenal job as usual. You've done it again. If I may, real quick, just drop a couple of things. People forget that on November 15th, 2018, Kim Porter passed away. And the only reason I remember that is because my birthday is November 15th. I just had a birthday a couple of days ago. So I remember in 2018 when she passed away. Now, the industry, the way they play, and as they say, hell have no fury like a woman scorned, you know that this Cassie chick filed this civil suit basically on the anniversary of, or like the day before, or the day after, his children's mother's death anniversary. You see what I'm saying? And he just dropped the album recently, and I'm not the biggest Diddy advocate or anything like that, like how you were saying. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not the biggest fan of him, his music, or him as a person. But that album that he just did, it was a pretty good album. You know what I mean? And I would say it's probably his best work, in my opinion. So as a creative and an artist myself, I could kind of see him saying, like, okay, this might be my curtain call. They might be coming for me. Between Kim Porter, Keefy D, him speaking out against Ciroc, You know what I mean? He running around like he been sipping his Farrakhan juice or something.
Well,
so
you know,
now he's on this.
You make a very good point there. I looked it up to see that. Slow down.
Cassie, she a woman scorned.
I looked it up there just to confirm that, and you are correct. She died November 15, 2018. So, yeah, I mean, now apparently it was because of a statute of limitations for that New York sexual assault survivor con job law, but certainly that convergence there. I mean, because she had like only a few days left to be able to file under that law. The coincidence of it is really uncanny, but you do make a good point there. That's a little interesting that Kim Porter died around that time, but certainly for the events of 2018, yeah, I mean, between her and Diddy broke up, you know, in October 2018, Kim dies in November, Cassie gets with this dude that she's with now, Alex Fine, in December of 2018. So all that converging together, the bottom line is she was being, after 10 years of performing every degrading, humiliating, extreme graphic sex act you could imagine with P Diddy with multiple cameras rolling. After, I mean, the only thing Diddy didn't do was show up at the Oscars to get the nomination for Best Cinematographer. That's the only thing he didn't do. And you imagine after 10 years of that, and then Diddy is like, yeah, we're done. Yeah, the apartments, the cars, the clothes. You can keep the clothes in the handbags, but you have to get out of the apartment. You can't stay anymore. So all those luxury apartments in New York, Miami, California, all the hot spots, yeah, you got to go. So she goes within the course of a month for being gone. You know, Diddy already got another woman before you even left. He stayed with 2 or 3 of them. And so here you are 60 days later with a personal trainer, and you kind of been stuck there, bogged down, spinning your wheels ever since. Hell yeah, chick's going to hold a grudge.
Right. And I'm no conspiracy theorist, but I definitely couldn't help but make that connection. And like you said, you know, if they've been together for 5 years, okay, her and her new husband, the white dude, okay, cool, they've been together, you know what I'm saying, 5 years or however long. Now that Diddy then broke off whatever he gave her, because I'm sure she ain't get the 30 mil like you said.
No, I'm pretty sure.
Let's see if they survive another 5 years after she got what she supposedly wanted, which was a payoff. And now that, you know, this is supposedly what would suffice for dude, because like you said, this probably was his idea. This probably was his brainchild. So is the money, them couple million or them few million, going to be enough to keep them together and make for a stronger, you know, relationship where they got solidarity? Or are they still going to do what is predictable that'll happen, which is they end up drifting apart anyway?
Yeah, because
made him sign that prenup.
Well, because
like
he's
told,
not the source of the bag.
Me.
He's not the source of the bag. Diddy is. After all these years, your woman's upgrade is still coming from Diddy. So how are you going to feel running around spending Diddy's money? Of course, it's your woman's money. It's not yours. How are you going to be the man of the house when your woman is now, Diddy has elevated her way beyond you? Is she still going to see you the same? Or is she going to be like, wow, that was really nice to be important for a little while, drama queening. That was real nice to be important. You were never able to really do that, even if it was a scandal. Does she psychologically get over this and keep going? Or does this become a poison pill? Or I suspect the poison pill is already in there. That dude is real bothered by things he understands and realizes now. She kind of got sent out on this hit mission because he figured, well, we take Diddy down and this will be okay. Or this will make him feel better. It's like, dude, that's not going to make you feel better. It isn't. Now she's got the money, but that's it. It's not going to erase the facts of what she did. And he's probably seen some little thottish stuff over the years and some big thottish stuff. And he's like, yeah, it all makes sense now. Yeah. Okay, but you're married to the game today. I'll let you have the last word.
Right. Yeah, it's crazy, man. And not only her, but is it going to, you know, be good enough for him? Because you know how they got the inferiority complex when it come to brothers. And if, you know, according to that lawsuit, you know, she was getting gang banged by the Mandingo Warrior Squad. So we know how that go. You know what I'm saying? But great program, brother, as always. And I just wanted to call and chime in real quick. Keep doing your thing, big brother.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Somebody asked in the chat room, didn't Diddy have an NDA on her? Well, I don't know definitively if he did or didn't, but remember, ever since that Stormy Daniels garbage with Donald Trump in New York and other places, I think it's federal law now, an NDA cannot be used to conceal illegal acts. So that's why she dropped her little changed her demands from "give me some money" or "I'm going to write a tell-all book," because that was actually her trying to commit a crime. To anybody trying to protect her, that was her trying to commit a crime. She then changes their attack angle and says, okay, we're going to say that he committed a crime against you, and that will allow us to break the NDA. So whether what she's saying is true or not, and I don't believe it, whether what she's saying is actually factual, she's claiming that a crime was committed so that she could circumvent the NDA. Well, I can tell everything I know if I say it was a crime and you know it was a lie, because 24 hours later, oh, there was no crime. Bye. Bye. Pretty much there's nowhere where a private contract does not supersede the law. There is no a contract between you and another person, you and a company, nothing supersedes the law. So whatever the law of your state or the nation is, that's going to take precedent. And the law today is that a non-disclosure agreement cannot be used to conceal illegal activities. You can conceal embarrassing things just so long as they're not illegal. But you can't tell somebody, well, you're under NDA. You can't talk about the crimes I committed. So she claimed that there were crimes committed, but everything she named was just her basically slutting it up, but not any real crimes. So she really was just using that as an excuse, things that didn't happen, oh, human trafficking, so that she could break the NDA. Now Diddy would have to take her to court and prove that she's breaking the NDA and go fight through all that. So first he's going to have to prove that she had an NDA and she broke it, and these are not true. And that's a painstaking process. Take a look at what happened to Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp went after Amber Heard, but take a look at how long that took. Take a look at how arduous that was. Take a look at what that did to his career in the meantime. You know, he won, yeah. I mean, he did win, and good for him. He should have won, but just take a look at what that does in the meantime. Caller Mirror Code 708, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Anthony, Chicago. Can you hear me, clear?
Anthony in Chicago, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so Diddy been doing this thing, man, for a minute. Put on a lot of artists, you know. Everybody that has got up with him, everybody that has done an interview about the man, that said something negative about him. Why are you holding his nuts?
Okay, is that a question?
Yeah, I'm asking you, why are you holding Diddy's nuts, nigga? Can you hear me clear?
Okay, well, sir, I'm not holding anything. I'm just pointing out the facts of the situation. If you're this triggered by it, maybe it's because you want some Astroglide. I don't know. But
I'm not triggered. Diddy is a monster.
Sir, you're very triggered. He didn't do anything to you, or did he? Maybe
I'm not triggered at all.
Maybe there's something you want to get off. Maybe there's something you want to get off your chest tonight. Did Diddy do something to you that we should know about?
I'm not triggered.
Did you?
I'm not triggered.
Did your time as a male escort traumatize you?
Why are you so much standing up for P Diddy?
I'm not standing up, sir. I'm repeating the facts.
The only person that got something good to say
sir,
about
I'm
the nigga
repeating the facts,
you only one
sir.
Got something good to say about the nigga.
What have I said that is false? What have I said that is false?
Come on, man. Man, look.
Sir,
case,
second
right?
try,
That's
sir. What did I say that was
hell.
factually inaccurate? Second try.
Everything you're saying is factually inaccurate.
Name one thing that I said that was factually inaccurate.
The thing that's factually inaccurate is you up here trying to defend Diddy. That's factually inaccurate because Diddy is a monster, nigga.
Okay.
So why are you capable?
Folks, when your sons are out here, ladies, when y'all do drugs while you're pregnant, when you do that, this is kind of what you end up with doing to your sons. Just that exchange right there. Name what it was. You defended him. Okay, what did I say that was inaccurate? Well, a lot of things. Name one. You defended him. Sir, that's not naming anything. So, ladies, when you do drugs while you're pregnant, this is what happens. You have these panty waist boys. They grow up, they're temperamental, they're emotional, they're feminized as hell, they're incoherent, they're not very bright. Chicago, this is a bad look, Chicago. It's a bad look. All right, sissy boy, we'll give you one more try at this. Name for us one thing that I said that was, tell me one thing that was factually inaccurate.
Come on, man. I just told you. You the only one that got something good to say about the man.
Sir, what did I say that was false?
Man, shut up, man. You don't know what you're talking about.
Sir, what did I say that was false?
You got everybody calling up here talking like you spitting out something real. You ain't spitting out nothing real.
Sir, it sounds to me that your time as a male escort is really traumatized you.
You're defending a
That's
rapist.
what it sounds like. Folks, he's from Chicago, so maybe he was running around with R. Kelly, but it sounds like his time as a male escort has really traumatized him. He's very, very much triggered, by the way. By the way, listen to the way he talks.
You a clown. Listen to how I talk. I'm very educated, bro.
He sounds like saucy. He sounds like Saucy Santana.
Do you have a master's degree?
He sounds like Saucy Santana.
I have a master's degree.
It's just he's very, very triggered about all these events. So just understand, there's a lot of fellas out here. Their mamas didn't, were doing a lot of things while they were pregnant, and these fellas are grown men out. I say grown man advisedly. Boy, I'm telling you.
A rapist.
There he goes. All right, well, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. He's very, very triggered. His time as a male escort didn't go very well. He's very, very angry. P. Diddy is there. He doesn't know what P. Diddy did wrong. He just knows he hates P. Diddy. And I hate him. And I hate you too. Okay, fine. All right. Well, listen here, Saucy. Can you tell me what was said that was false? Everything. Name one statement I made that was false. All of it. Okay, can you repeat to me the words that I said that were false? Man, you know what you said. Chicago, that nigga gotta be from the east side. I'm not even gonna put him on the west or the south side. There's gotta be an east side nigga. Chicago, east side, y'all got to come get your ho boys. You gotta come get them. He is just too damn angry. He is just too damn angry about this. And P. Diddy, all them male escorts. Brother, what did P. Diddy do with you that we should know about? Is there something you want to get off your chest tonight? Is there something you'd like to get off your chest tonight, brother? It seems like P. Diddy got you traumatized. Is there something you'd like to admit, confess to, disclose? In the chat room, Carla, you need to call up. So mods, go ahead and make sure Carla calls up. She's got 2 minutes to be on the phone. She's got a lot to say, so she's got 2 minutes to be on the line. So let's get it done. Caller from area code 321. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Mike from Orlando.
All right, Mike from Orlando. What's on your mind?
I just have a hypothetical. I don't know. She's married to that white man. And white men are real sneaky. Do you think somewhere down the line that he'll take the kids and take half that money that she just got?
Well, I don't wish bad on anyone, but what I am going to say is that if this is was prompted by what I suspect it is, that he found out that her little history isn't nearly as squeaky clean as he thought it was or hoped it would be, that she's concealed things, and now he's 4 years of marriage and 2 kids deep. And now he's finding out things that he can't shake. Yeah, that would be an issue. That would be an issue. And I'm just saying, money's not going to fix that. Money is not going to fix that.
Yeah, he's not going to sit back and take that. But I just wanted to sit there and ask that question and everything, Brother Jason. And your last caller, he got some of that stuff coming out his asshole and shit. He's uptight real quick.
Like I
Have a
say,
blessed day,
he's
brother.
very, very triggered there, but it goes with the territory. So thank you very much for giving us a call. Like I say, I mean, look, folks, ain't no man who's got any manhood about him going to be okay with another man paying your wife for slutting her out. You can't give a bag. Men don't care about how much money a woman makes. You can't give another man a bag and say, hey, I'm through with your broad. As a matter of fact, here's a couple more million. We're talking about indecent proposal now. Some of these fellas who were up here earlier, y'all would be okay and in line with a fella making an indecent proposal to your woman. Here's a couple of mil. Let me ride your chick around the block a few times. Well, I mean, a couple million? Oh, man, we can do that right there, man. Okay. We can do that. Folks, we're literally talking about indecent proposal. If you agree with what I'm saying here, give me the fire emoji in the chat room and hit the likes button. There's over 4,000 people in here live right now. Also, I want to send a big shout out here to my man, Cornell Sly. We appreciate that. Supporting the B1 Media, and salute to the Black Authority. Salute to you, brother. We appreciate that as well. Thank you very much for your support. And to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program here tonight, we appreciate that. Let me get caller from area code 504. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good evening, Jason. This is G from New Orleans.
G from New Orleans. What's on your mind?
All right. First things first, brother. I think that caller who was going back and forth with you was upset Diddy took all of the Astroglide. Second thing I want to make, you have a great program going on, broadcast going on, and I just want to point out to everybody right now in New York what's going on with these look-back laws, especially even in California. And Jason, you touched this earlier. They've changed these laws so that people can go back, sometime even for a year or more, and go back and file whatever type of lawsuit they can. And they did that, changed these laws, especially the statute of limitations in some of these states, in large part because of Bill Cosby. The problem with when they're doing this and doing these look-back laws is that it goes against everything in the Constitution, which talks about due process as well as the right to a fair and speedy trial. And it's basically eliminating the statute of limitations. What you have here is that Cassie's been in a relationship with this man for more than a decade, and she was going to, according to what I read, is write a book and wanted $30 million from him. He didn't get it, and that's when the lawsuit happened. She didn't go to the police. She didn't go to the district attorney if any of these things happen. And I'm not even a Diddy fan. He very well could. Diddy could be a motherfucker. Let's just call it like it is. But I even see this as a shakedown. And we all got to be careful when we're wishing stuff on people, because if they can do things to powerful who we think are powerful black men, like a Bill Cosby, like a Michael Jackson, or even a Diddy, then all of us are not safe. And that's just the thing. You don't have any, a settlement is not proof of a crime. A settlement, people settle cases just all the time just because they don't want to be bothered.
Yeah, but brother, here's the thing. What type of victim of a sex crime settles out of court and doesn't go for charges and go for the jugular? What type of victim of a sex crime says, okay, pay me a few million, and 24 hours later, no more issues anymore, bye everybody? Come on now. What type of victim operates that way?
The Catholic, even with the Catholic, the sex scandals in the Catholic Church, the kids there to this day, even though they'll be adults, while they're lawyers, they'll try and sue the church and the priest. They also try to see charges go against them if they could. They talked to the DA. The district attorneys even opened up here in New Orleans. They've even opened up investigation in some of these priests. So what it sounds like is just, and I'm surprised that Cassie didn't have Gloria Allred, because that's something that's up her alley. But they've gone after every black entertainer. Like Eddie Griffin says, don't leave the earth without an asterisk. And I'm starting to see that. And one more point, Jason, and you can look this up. There's actually an attorney out in New York I can't think of his name, but I saw this on his website myself. He has a class action claim where he's trying to get all women who have been sexually assaulted by Bill Cosby to come forward because they're trying to take money from him. That's what the whole thing is about, man. It's about money. It's not about justice. And we got to be careful of that. I'll land my plan there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get a caller from area code 510. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is August from Oakland.
All right, August from Oakland. What's on your mind?
Well, the first thing was about like whether if I believe the allegations are true or not. One, of course, I believe the allegations are true, but I don't believe that. I believe that she was willing and able, so I don't think any of this is lies.
Well,
however,
okay, but if she's, let me interject there. You can't be a willing rape victim. You can't be willingly sex trafficked. So you can't say, I believe she alleged that she's a victim of rape, abuse, and sex trafficking. But that is her allegation.
I don't believe she was a victim. I don't believe she was a rape victim. I believe she was doing all the shit that she said she was doing, not from a victim stance. I believe that she was having gay foursomes, homosexual foursomes, and getting ran like it. I believe all that, but I just believe that she was willing. Okay, so my next thing I was going to say was, I think this points out how a lot of the internet content right now talks about how women, the value of women, even your content on your other channel, about how a woman's value is between her legs and her youth and her, you know what I'm saying? And who wants a woman that's been through something like that? And how can a woman blame a man for wanting a more, cleaner, I'll just use the word, woman, because, like, that's disgusting in my eyes. I would never touch a woman, but I see a lot of, like, women talking about getting spit in their mouth by the men and how that's freaky and sexy to them and all that.
No, brother, what we're finding out a lot of chicks are going over to Dubai and they know the get down. That's what you're finding out. A lot of chicks are going over to Dubai, and we're not breaking news talking about what them folks are doing with them with their camels and their tents. We're not breaking news. They know what the get down is. They know what's expected of them. They know what's happening over there. They're just hoping that nobody records it and can bring proof back over here. But there's a whole bunch of folks doing something strange for some change. This is the era.
They don't mind having they don't mind having relationships with homosexual men either, like they pretend to. They don't mind at all. If he has money, he can be as homosexual as he wants to be. She'll even participate.
As long as their thing is, as long as nobody can bring definitive proof, that's the issue. As long as you can't prove I did it, so I can go ahead and slut myself out, and if that doesn't work out, then I'll go get me this little square ass awkward dude. So what do you do if you one day find out with irrefutable, incontrovertible, look it up, with absolutely indisputable evidence that the woman that you married went on the whole train ride through the run-through rodeo, and then you find out that you are the little awkward square dude that she went scrambling for after the ballers and the alpha males had their way with her 12 ways from Tuesday. How do you shake not suspecting it? Because a man can live if he suspects and got plausible deniability. What do you do when you run head first into irrefutable proof that you are the simp? You are the one she settled for. Now what do you do?
His entire family and circle knows what kind of wife he has. He can't shake that now.
What if they warned him?
Everybody in the world knows.
What if they warned him? What if they said something beforehand? Just think about that for a few moments. They're like, yeah, we knew all that. And now it's gotten to a breaking point. He's like, I can't live with this, but he's got kids with her and he doesn't want to leave. So like I say, it's just at this point right now, it's like, dude, the time to be thinking about this was 2018. That was the time to be thinking this over. You're not going to come back 5 years later and ex post facto redeem her honor. That's not going to happen. I'll let you have the last word.
Great broadcast as usual. I'm just saying that was basically my point, man. Like I hope women understand when they do these things, how how much they're devaluing themselves to any man with any kind of integrity or anything like that. But I'll continue to listen. Let's keep it going. Thanks, Jason.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. We appreciate that. Like I say, I mean, when you play, you pay. When you play, you pay. Folks, what kind of victim says he raped me, but if he pays me a few $1 million, I will stop talking? Yeah. I know he raped me, but you see, if he pays me a few million, I won't give out all the details and I won't force him to admit to what he did if he'll just go ahead and pay me. Folks, what kind of victim says that? Yeah, I would put out all the details about it, but if you pay me a few million, I'll stop and I'll be quiet. I will stop talking if you pay me. Some of y'all need to get a dictionary and a clue and look up what the word victim means. Caller from area code 708, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, how you doing? This is Brandon Foster from Chicago.
All right, Brandon from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Yeah, I've been talking about this for the past couple of days, and honestly, I've been getting into a few arguments with people. You know, I try not to get heated about it, but some people have been taking offense. A few of the women in my life have been taking offense because they feel like I'm being insensitive, I'm victim blaming, and different things like that. And I just really feel like we need to have a conversation about what consent actually is. Like, we need to have a long conversation about the details and what consent actually is. I feel like
here's the issue. They're going to say that she did not consent. So once she says she was raped, they're going to say she did not consent. Then you're going to be like, okay, so she didn't consent for a decade? Oh, well, I was a victim of emotional abuse. What I'm saying is now we're taking things and stretching them to absolutely ludicrous proportions so that you can justify your hoe phase. That's where we're at now.
Yeah, and the point that I was trying to make, like, if you really feel like she was violated, if she feels like she was violated, then yeah, let's take the evidence we have and let's nail him to the cross so he doesn't find another 19-year-old girl and do this again. But the fact that she just took the money and run after 24 hours, like, it's obvious what this is.
Okay, well, let me deal with that right quick. Let me deal with that 19-year-old thing. I want to say, ladies, I got to take y'all to task for a minute here because this is something right here that we going to have to settle the bull jive over. You can't sit up here and say a girl can be 16 years old and get an abortion because she's old enough and it's her body, her choice, and she's responsible for herself. So she can have an abortion if she's 16 or 15 years old. She's woman enough to be in charge enough of herself to do that without her parents or anything else. And then say when she's 19, oh, she's just helpless. She has no autonomy. She has no authority. She doesn't know what she's doing. So she knows what she's doing at 15, but she doesn't know what she's doing at 19. So ladies, you're going to have to accept when you are grown. You can't sit up here and say, well, I'll take accountability when it's in my favor, and I'm helpless and stupid till the age of 90 if it's not. I'm just naive. You can't be eternally naive. That's not the way naivete works. Naivete isn't an eternal state of being. So ladies, if you're age 15 and you are grown enough to get an abortion, you don't get to come back at 19 and say, but I'm responsible for my sexual behavior at 15. I'm in charge of it, but I'm not responsible and in charge of my sexual behavior at 19, 20, 21, 22. These are the ages that she specifically names in her lawsuit, that you're just not, you are just emotionally dominated and thus now you're physically dominated. It's called a door. You can walk out of it anytime you want to. You are responsible. You wanted to be a part of Bad Boy Records, and you were. And it was all good until Bad Boy Records was done with you. So every female thinking that, oh, this is the sweet spot of life, I can engage in whatever gutter behavior I want to, and all I got to say is, oh, I was young and stupid, and it's his fault. It's not my fault that I said yes. It's his fault that he offered it to me. Every female would love to get out of jail free on that for the rest of their lives. I'll let you have the last word.
That's kind of the that was the third issue that I was grappling with a bunch of the people that I was talking to. Is this woman autonomous and has her own mind, and is she capable of making decisions for herself, or is she in some kind of vegetable state or some type of childlike state where she needs a guardian? If it's the latter, then yeah, Puff Daddy, he needs to be thrown in jail and throw away the key, because he's pretty much dealing with someone with a disability, a child, someone who can't make decisions for themselves.
Okay,
but
well,
if we're to believe that,
here's a counter argument to that. I want all you fellas to remember this. If a female tries to tell you that a female, she's not responsible for her behavior because, oh, well, she was emotionally abused or whatever, then the next question is, okay, fine. If a man is in love with you and he says that you financially abused him and left him in a bad spot, is he responsible for that, or is it your fault? Well, yeah, he said yes, but it's your fault that you offered to take his money and use his time and go out to dinner and eat. So are you also responsible for doing that to these men? Or are these men responsible for saying yes?
well, yeah, we know the answer to that. If you're a man, you just got to take it on the chin.
Right, so I want you all to understand that that's the way to proceed forward with it here. Not trying to convince the women to admit or confess to something that, when you're talking to a group of women who are clearly just saying it because they think that's in their best interest, because they're looking for a male to victimize. As a matter of fact, I would actually question what the benefit would be of speaking to them at all once they have exposed to you that they're predatory. It's like, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. But if you're at 15 years old, you are completely autonomous. When you're 19, oh, well, it's the man's fault that I like having 3 or 4 dudes. And for a decades, no, clearly you weren't a victim of anything. You're looking for somebody to victimize. And every man needs to be aware that that's the environment that we're looking at here today, because there's a bunch of guys right now, you're listening to me, you're not rich today. You're not well off today, but one day you likely will be. In the next 10, 15 years, you likely will be. And do you want the ghosts of hood rats past to come up here and that chick that you left on the roadside for pickup because she wasn't built to run the race? Now that she's with this old square loser and things are not going the way she thought it would be, that she's like, well, you know what? If I can just tell this lie, then I can rape a payday out of you. That's where we're at now. Caller America 214, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, this is Poochie from East Dallas, Texas.
All right, Poochie from East Dallas. What's on your mind?
Okay, sir. First off, I'm pro successful black man, but I just want to add a little bit to what you were saying about the husband. For me, I wanted to put it out there because I'm a big fan of Diddy, Ye, and Jay. But that guy, the trainer, he is also Diddy hired him for her, and he's also parallel to the guy that Kanye said would make him go crazy or something like that. I think he's a handler. I was just trying to see if over the years how we've spoken about the industry, I think he's a handler, and it's also to get them people out of the forefront of the news cycle. As long as with us anyway, with the black community.
Wait a minute, are you saying that you think that Cassie's husband is a handler?
Yeah, we want to get the news out of get the Gaza people out of the news cycle. because they're upset with us as black people.
Okay, well.
You see what I'm saying? I'm trying not to say anything.
I don't see that being the issue. I mean, this is a pretty much well-known dude in that regard. I mean, he's not famous or anything, but he's a well-known entity. No, he was just a married square dude who I suspect he didn't understand the real depth of what she was doing. Maybe he was a little starstruck. He was trying to get his little fitness thing off the ground, and he's still working on that. And he probably lied to himself and told himself, you know what, we can make a pretty good power couple. I mean, she's certainly not hard on the eyes. So if I'm going to be married and be dealing with personal training with athletes and things like that, to be able to say I'm married to Cassie, at least she's a name that they recognize, even if it was only for 14 minutes of fame. So I think that's what it was. And I think that after a decade of slumming with Diddy, this guy right here, I mean, basically, you know what it was. I mean, it was the last train leaving, or at least it was the first thing she could jump to. He probably wasn't the last train leaving, but she made an impulsive decision. She made a silly decision because this guy wasn't really what she wanted, but it wasn't Diddy. So she went for a guy she could more emotionally dominate. But the bottom line is this fella's going to want something out of the relationship as a value. And if you have concealed just how far you went, if you have covered up what you were doing, if you allowed him to believe that it was not as severe as it really was, and then one day he finds out not that you were doing some things, but that literally over the course of a decade, you were literally engaging with dozens of men. Dozens of random male prostitutes, and the male prostitutes are just the ones she admits to. How many of Diddy's friends and relations and everything else was she stretched out with? And then over the course of a whole decade, do you know how many people a woman can have sex with over the course of a decade if she just takes the brakes off and just let it ride over the course of a decade? So when you finally get to this man, if he asks the dumbest question that he possibly could have asked, which was, what's your body count? If he waited 4 years and 2 kids later to finally ask that question, I suggest or submit to you all that that's what happened. He waited 4 years before he asked, 3 or 4 years before he asked that question. And she gave him a semi-honest answer, and he was mind blown. And he's been trying to rationalize to himself ever since how he can stay with this woman now, knowing, not guessing anymore, but knowing what he knows now. You can't walk that backwards. And now Diddy has pretty much confirmed, yeah, nigga, we did that. Yeah, we sure did. Think about that for a few moments. I don't think dude has thought about that. For her to get that settlement like this, yeah, but Diddy, ooh, that's just good as admitting it. Well, think about what she just did to her marriage, because that's the same as Diddy saying, yeah, nigga, we sure did. Yeah, all of us, man, we sure did. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let me throw the broad a few more dollars. But no, remember what Diddy said in his statement about that? I wish Cassie and her family well. That's a shot at your husband, ma'am. Hey, dude, I'm through with her. Matter of fact, it was so good, I'll pay you a few million the next time around. So there you go. We'll chip you that off. You got to live with her, not me. So yeah, I wish you and my side chick well. That's where he's at today. How do you wash that out your mind, knowing that Diddy is like, yeah, nigga, everything. That's just what she told you. There's I got it on video. If you want to see what the 10 years were. I
think he said that.
If you want to see I ain't got to tell you about what the 10 years were. If you want to see it in HD, I got it for you to look at, player. Yeah. Would you like to take a peek? Think about that. I got your woman is like a library. I got a library of her videos. Yeah. It's like hustler video. It's like West Coast video. Think about that for a few moments, and now he's home with her.
West Coast with
and you going to sit at home with her for how many years now? And now at this point, if y'all are giving a few million, you're not going to even have to work. You two are just going to be sitting around the house trying to reconcile with each other. Tell me how you do that. How? How do you do that now?
Respect, bro, man. Thank you. Respect, bro. That's all I got to say, man. Thank you. Keep doing
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Like I said, I mean, that's a deadly situation to be in. You sitting there and whatnot, and it's like, take him to court. And Diddy like, yeah, that was your broad, yeah. Although we really should call her my broad because she's still digging me after all these years. So, yeah, you ain't never had the bag right. Yeah, you don't even want to know what we was doing up in there. Here you go. Yeah, everything she told you, that's right. Whatever she told you, bruh, times 3. Yeah, for a whole decade. We had her doing the rooster for a whole decade. Now you think about that for a few minutes. Bro, did you really want to have all these details put out in public? Did you really want to have all these details put out in public? Because that's what you got to live with now. Knowing that dudes see you with your woman and they're staring at the mall, but they're not staring for the reasons they used to. They staring at your chick now. It's like, ooh, boy. It ain't a pretty picture. It's not a pretty picture. I suspect that he screwed around and asked her body count, or he asked some questions that would reveal or indicate that body count number. And when he did, he was not ready for what he was going to hear. Or at least he suspected it and then she confirmed it. Now he's like, I'll be damned, I got to live with that. Now it's international news. Now it is international news. And now you are just Mr. Freakoff. Your wife is Mrs. Freakoff. And now you are Mr. Freakoff. I don't think this is what you were intending. Caller from area code 706. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Bomani from Augusta, Georgia.
Bomani from Augusta. What's on your mind?
Enjoying the broadcast. I had a couple of thoughts on this. First off, it seemed like that Cassie might have been a porn star, a private porn star, without a contract. And that she just did whatever she did, and like the money ran out, and then she wanted to shake Diddy down, and it didn't work. But I also wanted to ask, do you think that this might have been the end for the feds to get in because the name is coming up in this P Diddy thing? And do they just want to kind of explore that? Because they're going to get them one way or another.
Yeah, the two are unrelated. The Keefe D situation is unrelated. There was a great video that was put out a few years ago on Valuetainment with Detective Greg Kading. He pretty much laid out the whole thing. So I believe that the case that he laid out there and the information, what he researched and what he discovered when he was researching about Biggie getting killed and things, I pretty much think that the facts that he laid out, you can't really refute those things, and nobody has really ever refuted what he said, that it's not possible, or that it wasn't really the course of events, that what he said happened didn't occur. So he's always said, look, the Las Vegas Police Department could have gone after this. They didn't. Los Angeles Police Department could go after it. They haven't. So it's never been a matter of that. So these are two totally separate cases. Their ability to pursue them, they've already got all the information they need. Just like the murder of Malcolm X. They already have all the information they need.
Right.
If they're not going after it, it's because of some other reason. But no, they don't need anything. They already got everything they need for the Keefe D case to go after Diddy. They already have it. Now, the only issue is he waited so long. And really, the real issue with that whole case is that pretty much most of the principals are dead now. All the gunmen, all the trigger men, who killed Tupac and Biggie, they're all dead now. So you'll never get a confession out of them. So you're really stuck now with a bunch of circumstantial evidence. So those of us on the streets, we know. But the real thing is, in this case right here, you'd be trying to get an all-white jury because they're not going to put together all this gang stuff. They're not going to put all that together. And so that's what you're looking at. But, I mean, we're talking about the feds. If they show up, they're going to get you. But, nah, these are unrelated, and you don't need Keefe D for that. The Keefe D situation, if you're going to get him, you've already got everything you need. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Let me get caller from area code 804. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Benjamin, Richmond, Virginia.
Benjamin in Richmond, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I was just observing that, she looked more and more Asian, I guess, as the sympathy, I guess in order to provoke sympathy. Back then, those old photos of her, the sort of curly-haired Negro look she had. I don't think, I think they purposely, the change of the look made her look, I guess, a little more innocent to sort of appeal to the public. I think that the media and her lawyers probably put that together to make her look, more ethnically victimized.
Well, I mean,
if there is such a thing.
Well, certainly when she was with Diddy and whatnot, I mean, that's one thing a woman needs to watch out for, is if a man wants to start making you look, radically different. That's something to watch out for, because he's saying, yeah, she is part Filipino. She is part Filipino, though.
Right.
So, I mean, but definitely, like I say, if they're trying to do that there, it's just like, okay, they want you to look different. Just be careful when they want you to start looking different all the time, because now we're getting bored with you. Now we're getting bored with you, and it's going to be about time to cycle you out. That's the real thing for you to watch out for.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, Diddy cycled her out. He had a lot of things going his way. Just put it like that.
Well, he still does. I mean, look, Sean Combs is like a mafia boss, and yes, I do mean to make that comparison. He's always taken care of himself. So whatever situation he goes into, he's always pulling the strings. He's the one who sets the terms. He sends the contract. He always makes sure that he is taken care of first and foremost. So the bag don't come to him before it gets to anybody. He gets the loaf, you get the crumbs. That's the way he's lived his whole life. That is how he runs his quote unquote business. So with that being the case, with her being involved, it's like, baby, he's already got that sewn up. Your options will be very limited when he gets done. He's going to run the show. And when the day comes that he's done with you, he's going to put you on the roadside for pickup. And in her case, he showed her early on, yeah, you were a lot of fun and a lot of giggles, and your ability to keep things quiet was very, very useful. But eventually he got bored with her, and she has to start turning a bunch of tricks to remain amusing. She was fine with it while she was getting benefits, but then again, we all know that's usually the way that goes. Ladies love getting the benefits, but it's like as soon as you let them know, yeah, we're done, or if she decides she wants to run off and you're like, yeah, I'm not running after you this time. Yeah, you go ahead and make it work with Brad over there. And it's been 4 years, and what she just revealed is it's not working out. I wish I was back where I was, getting that shine, getting that attention. The man I'm with does not have the bag like that. He doesn't have the attention. He doesn't have the clout. I want to be back in the limelight. Well, you can't get back there. Well, maybe a scandal will do it. And what I'm saying is that I don't think this bodes well for the future. I just don't.
Oh, well, she's probably. So the question is Puffy done at this point? That's the question. Is he done? She's probably done. She'll never be in entertainment ever again.
Okay.
She's got the bag.
In Hollywood today, the rule is no conviction, no nothing. So Diddy is a part of that sexual lifestyle. We've all known that. So as long as Diddy doesn't get convicted of anything or do, Will Smith's mistake was that he committed a crime in public. That was Will Smith's mistake, doing that in public. Oh, yeah. Diddy, he ain't did anything in public. So allegations, smallegations, you can't do anything now because he just got you to shut Cassie up. Your so-called victim said, well, pay me and I'll shut up and never talk again. So, brother, who's going to come after him now? Because now whatever version of the events he wants to give, she can't say anything. She can't say anything now. So he's protected himself. What happens? What happens is this blows over in 3 or 4 months. Actually, sooner than that. Because without her deposing him, you don't have a story anymore. Brother, there is no story anymore. It's gone now.
What about new allegations from new people? That should be a concern. If he's giving out this kind of a bag, someone else may jump and say, hey, I want a piece too.
Well, it depends on whether or not she was the only one or whether or not there were others. Now, if there were other females who can corroborate things the same way or had a similar experience that they can corroborate, that would be a different matter. I'm thinking that, no, the circle pretty much is closed here. And if we shut her up,
the search on her is done. It's no question.
This is what we call it. This is why you got a bottom broad. You got the bottom broad because, she's the one who does all this nasty stuff and whatnot. She's the one you run through the ringer so that you don't have to open up the circle to new people. She's the one you really go all out with. I mean, he was strung out on the drugs and everything else. But eventually you get over that part of it there. And it's like, okay, well, we're going to sit back and take it easy because you've already been there and done that. That's out of your system. So in this case here, no, I'm thinking she's the only one. I mean, not saying that there were not other females, but that she's the only one who had this much dirt because she was the only one who was around for that long. So you're not really going to believe somebody who was just there for a year or two. You're not going to believe them. Somebody who was there for a decade, that's going to be a little bit harder to wiggle your way out of. And if you notice since then, he's been pretty much stiff-arming chicks since then. He hasn't really been rolling with nobody heavy like that since Cassie.
Yeah, no one public. No one public at all.
You can name 3 or 4 females since then. So he ain't really let nobody get, in the last 5 years, he's really stiff-armed the rest of them. He's putting them at a distance. Young Miami was in there for about a hot minute, and then she's back out again. So that's the strategy he's using now. And considering what may or may not have transpired, that's the correct thing to do because nobody is around long enough to be able to claim anything. Matter of fact, like the advantage of the Young Miami situation, she's got whole months out of the year now that he is physically separated from her. So the only way she can get in his company is to keep pursuing him. So he's going to have, in that case, he's got plenty of documentation. Hey, she's chasing me around. I'm not chasing her. How do you argue your way out of that? Answer, you can't. So that's the strategy he's using now. So my answer to you would be, she's the only one who was around that long. He's only had a bunch of money for the last 2 decades. She's the only one who's been around that long. Little over 25 years now. And that's it. So there was Kim, there was Cassie, and now there's just a revolving door of thoughts.
Right. I guess as long as there's no big story, nothing too egregious, I guess he won't be in any trouble. But we'll see.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Hey. Like I said, I mean, I know folks are worried. Was it going to be KPD? Is it going to be another outbreak? From what I'm surmising here, I don't think he's played the game that way. I think it's a different situation there. I think it's a different situation, and I'm not going to say it's impossible. Of course, it's very possible. Of course. The real thing isn't folk accusing him. Because remember, with P Diddy, you ain't going to be able to get in the room with him without signing an NDA. You're not going to get in the room with him without signing one. That's the world that they live in, is you're not going to get to even talk to him without an NDA. You got to sign one from the beginning before you can get in the room. So everybody who's ever met him and everybody around him, you got to sign an NDA before you can even talk to him. That's where he's at in the world now for the few people who can get a hold of him. So everybody's already under NDA, and the only 2 chicks he ever spent any real time with since Jennifer Lopez, Kim and Cassie, everybody else is just like Airbnb. You can be here for a few weeks, but you got to go. He hasn't done anything for any of these other chicks like he did for Cassie. So he's already shown you a change in behavior, so that's why I seriously doubt there will be anyone else. The rest of them, they just come through, slut it up, drug it up, and he sends them home. Caller from area code 412, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, good afternoon. Good morning.
Baby, you don't know where you are.
Oh, my gosh. Well, I have a sore throat. I was taking some medicine. I apologize. But you know what? My name is Renee. I'm calling from Charlotte.
Renee from Charlotte was on your mind.
what, Jason? I 100% agree with you. I don't feel sorry for this young lady. She knew what she was getting when they go in there. All of them women who be on Instagram meeting these men in that industry knew what they're going to get into. You put them, line them up all in a room. If these men want to pick you, they're going to pick you, and you knew what you're going to get. It's no different than I'm going to the store picking out something that I want, and then I can't take it back. They know. They're not going on. They're not going to see these men with blinders on. You can't claim you're a victim when you're a willing participant.
Well, I'll go further than that.
I 100% agree with you.
I'll go further than that, though, because I will submit to you that most females in American society, we already know this, most of y'all done had a hoe phase where you just stacked up as many bodies as possible, and we're just tasting all the sexual candy out there because, oh, well, if nobody finds out, then I won't have to own up to it. So Cassie, if she's running around with P Diddy and standard operating procedure is non-disclosure agreements, then what is it you took away from that? Well, I'll be damned. I can just go hog wild with this hoe phase. I can indulge every dark, dirty, dismal desire, and I will not be held accountable for it. So why not just let it all hang out? Let's just do everything. And I submit to you that that's where she was, and she was enjoying the ride because she's like, hey, we're all out here slutting it up. I'm just slutting it up with some real built men and some real made men and on another level in his 5-star hotels. She's just going all the way wild with it. And her only real regret now is that the ride came to an end and she is saddled now with a fitness trainer.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that because when you go see these young women on Love and Hip Hop or be on Instagram, they go do anything, any means necessary to get to that top. They don't care if they on OnlyFans doing what they need to do just to get that dollar. That's who they are. You can't cry victim shame you can't victim shame. Well, no, if you're a willing participant and know what these men do, you know it. I don't care. You can't claim victim. If you're a willing participant with them, can't claim it. I don't care. And I'm a woman.
You can't be a victim for 10 damn years and you're flying to New York, flying to Miami, flying to Aspen, flying to LA, flying to Mexico. You're a victim every time you got on the damn plane. You're a victim in all these apartments. You're a victim for a damn decade. Oh, I can't escape. No. When you read her lawsuit, and I read her lawsuit last night, her attorneys kept saying the same thing, that Cassie did all these things because she was afraid of losing her record deal. Now, I want to ask every woman out there. So, ladies,
for 10 years. She better go ahead.
Thank you, because that's the real point of it. But even at the beginning, so ladies, you're going to sit here and let dudes, according to you, without your permission, have intercourse with you and drug you up and throw you on the train with a bunch of other dudes having their way with you, all to keep a record deal? Having a record deal is that important to you that she had a boyfriend, Ryan Leslie. She had a boyfriend at the time. P Diddy took her down into Miami. That's the last time she went with Brian Leslie. And if you know full well, if you had a son and his girlfriend told him, well, yeah, for the last year, I've been getting stretched out by, Young Thug and 5 other dudes because I want to keep I want to keep my record deal. Yeah, I know they would slut me. What would you tell your son if he told you, well, mama, she said that she did it to keep her record deal, so I don't know what to do?
Yeah, that's crazy. But a lot of them want to do it, though. They don't care to be stretched out. A lot of them, nowadays, these young ones, they about that life. They about that. And me and you know it. It's crazy. It's crazy. You know what? Well, best of luck to both of them. You know what I mean? But, yeah, that's all I need to say.
Welcome to the new way of doing
you be blessed.
things.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. In the chat room, E. Ortiz needs to give us a call. So in the chat room, E. Ortiz needs to give us a call here. So my mods, go ahead and get her information. And we'll go ahead and have her give us a call up here. And she can explain to us exactly what the issue is. But in any case here, folks, to keep a record deal, they said it in the lawsuit over and over and over again. That was her excuse for getting stretched out, drugged out, slutted out. Everything else. Well, she was afraid to say no because she wanted to keep her record deal. This is the defense that she was going to go into court with, allegedly. That P Diddy was able to do all this because, well, I wanted to keep I submitted to it because I wanted to keep my record deal. She didn't want to have to say that under oath. She did not want to have to say that under oath. She comes up with this bogus thing, trying to come up with an excuse for breaking her NDA so she can sit up here and say, well, if you don't pay me, I'm going to air out all your dirty laundry because that's all I got left. But in her lawsuit, she said over and over and over and over again, I kept doing it because I was afraid to say no because, well, I wanted to keep my record deal. So that's supposed to be an excuse in 2023? I wanted to keep my record deal. Well, yes, I did all those nasty because I wanted to keep my record deal. I want to keep my record deal. That's what she said in her lawsuit. I want to keep my record deal. Not like she was getting broke off no major change neither, but yeah, I had a record deal and I wanted to keep it. I want to keep that. But what Diddy was doing for her had nothing to do with the record deal. That's why that explanation won't work. The record deal explanation could only work for the first 2 or 3 years. 5 years later, you can't claim he's doing this for a record deal because at that point, you're his woman, you his girlfriend, you done dropped Ryan Leslie, and you doing everything that Diddy is doing. And what I'm saying is that if you were really the victim of a crime, that's not the way victims roll. Victims don't sit up here and say, hurry up and pay me off so I can talk less. Victims sit up here and write their books and then dare you to sue them. Will Smith's former assistant, that's the thing y'all need to watch out for. His former assistant, he wrote his book and he said, yeah, you can't, I'm putting that out. I'm putting out all the details with receipts. So you're going to have a formidable task going after him. Yeah, I know what Jada said on The Breakfast Club. I heard that and I submit to you again. Yeah. You still gonna have a formidable task going after him. Because according to him, he's got documentation. And do you want, if you sue him, then you and your husband will have to go under deposition. And you're going to have to prove or disprove every allegation he made. That's the problem with these lawsuits, is that if you say you're going to fight it, then you got to go under deposition. So Jada can talk trash all she wants to. Does Jada really want to sit up here and be in a deposition having to answer all these questions? I submit to you that she does not. I submit to you that she don't actually want that to happen. She just wants to go ahead and sit on her red table talk. I know it's canceled. She wants to just go ahead and do that. She does not want to sit up here and have to explain have the rabbit with the gun, and the rabbit can say, okay, let's talk about everything we know, including a bunch of stuff that you can't explain away. Let's talk about everything. I'm telling y'all right now, she don't want to have that happen. She does not want to have a situation where she got to explain everything. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want that. And neither does P Diddy. He doesn't want a situation where he got to explain everything too. So this is why the ghosts of Hood Rat Past are jumping up out there. And another thing here, do y'all all notice this is happening at the same time? Dwight Howard, Will Smith, P Diddy. This is the new wave. This is the new thing to do. If you have ever had a homosexual experience with these dudes, man, you can cash out, or at least that's what folks are trying to do now. Right now, they're saying, hey, this is the time to cash out on these dudes. This is the time to do it. Y'all are seeing one after another after another. Folks are hitting them for the paper. Folks are hitting them for notoriety. This is what we're doing now. So to the fellas out there, protect yourselves, man. Just understand and be cognizant that this is the way it's going. Just walk into these situations and make the assumption, this could go bad. This could go bad. This could go bad. And just be aware that these are the rules. These are the rules, and you are going to have to deal with that. These are the rules now. Move forward at your own peril. We're going to go ahead and wrap things up here tonight. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go and check out our groundbreaking, best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m., Gentrified, Race War, all available on DVD and streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for tuning in to tonight's program. Thank you for listening live or recorded. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, The Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is uncompromising.